Welcome to episode 29 of Realty Talk with
Ellie.
and Galen. Sorry, adjusting the numbers there. Hello Ellie, how you doing?
Good, how are you?
Your day good?
It was okay.
Okay. First time I've seen you. Today. When's the last time I saw you? Been recently?
Monday?
Not
Monday,
not since you were inducted into the ADKYP office board.
Yeah, it took them a long time to agree on that. I was a little nervous.
Really?
Yeah.
Why? Just numbers?
I don't know. They only sent me out of the room and I waited a very long time.
Really?
It was probably like 2 minutes. It felt like forever.
Honestly, they're probably talking about something else, but...
I didn't realize it was so official. I thought it was like if you go to 2 meetings.
The first meeting I went to, they inducted 2 people and it took them like 10 seconds. So I was like, wait, hang on a second.
Different administration now,
Yeah.
so it's all right. So that's good. And you colored your hair since last time I saw you.
Yeah, this is my natural color.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's actually a little lighter than my natural color because there's still some black.
This is my thing with women. I can never tell their hair because they'll change it and be like, it's my natural hair color. I've only known you since you've been blonde.
I was brown in the winter.
Yeah, she was.
I was pointing at
I
Jordan.
was looking at
Were you?
Yeah.
I'm colorblind. I couldn't see it.
That's not how it works.
So Ellie's now blonde for the first time ever. So that's fine. It is what it is. Maybe you were. I don't know. Jordan. I just found out Jordan has curly hair, so that's. I don't even know what planet I'm living on right now, so that's okay. So Ellie, what's our topic for today that you want? What's your topic? I have a topic, but what's your topic you want to talk about?
It's a topic I think we've briefly covered before, but it's realistic expectations for buyers and for agents.
And by that, what do you mean?
So just having a realistic expectation as to what to expect. So starting with buyers, it's looking at what you can afford and realizing that you're not going to necessarily have a 3,000 square foot home on a lake if your budget is anything under 100,000.
I'd say anything under probably 250, but yeah, keep going.
Probably
Maybe
more,
3,
probably
yeah,
more
maybe
than
3.
that. No, but I just found that people sometimes have an idea that, and with older people I get it a little more because maybe the last time they bought a house, the price that they were looking in is realistic for their expectation. It would have been in the, 80s, but it is not now because prices are a lot higher. With younger people, I'm not really, maybe it's just because usually it's a first time home buyer and they think, okay, I want to spend less than 100,000, I want to have 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, I don't want to have to do any repairs, and like that, that's not gonna happen. Maybe if you go into Moors.
I agree. There's some of that. I also find the realistic expectations a lot of times is on parents, meaning that their kids will go look at the house. Kids love the house. Bring the parents to go look at the house, and all of a sudden the parents say it's overpriced.
Yeah.
Well, it's like, sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Parent, but like, why do you think that the house is overpriced? And they'll start nitpicking the house and this and that. And I've heard it before. Well, I bought my house for $70,000. When did you buy your house for $70,000? 1981.
Yeah,
okay.
what was the gas prices then?
Yeah, okay. It's like, all right, so that's an invalid argument. No, I agree. I think that's totally right.
And with the speed of things too, or even I've found, and I've started trying to educate people a little more as I take first time home buyers because I even though I'm a housing counselor and I do pre-purchase classes, I just wasn't aware of the severe gap of knowledge that people have sometimes, and I'll have clients who don't understand they're going to need money to close.
Yep.
That's a big one that I've come across. People who don't understand it's not going to happen where you put the offer and the home is yours the next day. Just stuff that, and it's not that they're not smart or anything. They just don't know. It's a totally different world, and if they've never bought a house before, there's no reason they would know that. But it's just kind of surprising sometimes some of the things that I find people expect. And this is a big process.
I agree. I think sometimes at least from a selling standpoint, it could be the time that it takes to actually close. On the seller's side, the seller's saying, well, my home's going to be, I want this number. And then I always ask them, okay, and this is what I do from a listing standpoint. If I'm going to go meet with you, I got to know a couple of things. I got to know why you're moving. Like, why are we selling the house? And it could be downsizing, could be upsizing, expanding the family, could be moving away for work, could be health issues. Why are you selling your home? There's always there's always a why. It's not that, I want to, there's always a why, and there's always a number two is when it comes down to money, because there's a timing and there's money. Those are the two factors that you have to consider on everything. What's the money aspect of it? Somebody could say, I want to sell my house for $200,000. Okay, great, that's fine. Where did you pull that number from? Like, what do you need? And what you start after you start having conversations with people and you really get down, it's kind of like anything else. Like, what's the problem? Okay, well, what's the root problem? Like, what's the actual problem that's causing all your other problems? Like, it could be, man, I'm depressed. Well, why are you depressed? And then you can really go down the layers and you find out that maybe you are in a bad relationship or in a bad job or bad health. Like, all these things, what's the root that's causing you this, like, stress or anxiety up on the top level where it's 3, 4, 5, 6 levels deep to where the root is. So I find sellers a lot will throw out a number. And it's a lot of times not their bottom line number. When I always tell clients, what's your absolute lowest number that you could take that you would still sell and you could make the jump into the next stage of your life, to accomplish that goal. Say their number is 150,000. Perfect. Okay, 150. Well, then negotiations start happening, and then all of a sudden they're dropping price because they were overpriced, and we knew it was going to be kind of a hard sell based on what they needed to get in the current market. All of a sudden now we're down to 135. Now we're down to 132. So when you told me 150, the problem is and I think what people have to understand, when you tell me your bottom line, I'm not running around telling people your bottom line. Like, I'm very professional in the sense that number stays between us. Like, it's like going to confession. I'm not going to tell that number to people. But what happens is if you tell me 150 and all of a sudden things start going, I'm thinking in my head, we got to get this person 150 because you told me that was your bottom line. And then to come find out, well, drop to 145. Well, wait, you said we needed to get 150, and to kind of back up a little bit on all this is that when I say 150, meaning we took all the closing costs out, we took what they owe on their mortgage, everything else. Maybe they come down as they have to net $70,000. After everything's paid, they want to walk away with $70,000 in their pocket. And that's the other thing I do too, is I work not necessarily the purchase price, I work back from it to get what's your net in pocket. And that's more important than the purchase price, is what are you actually walking away with, because you have to know also what your payoffs are. It's like looking at what your gross profit is. Gross profit means nothing. Your net profit is what, at the end of the day, what you need to look at. So I always find out what your net proceeds that you need. Well, come to find out, if it's 70, then all of a sudden, like, we'll drop it to 145. Like, well, that will only allow you to get 65,000 best case scenario. Well, that's fine. Okay, so then your bottom line is not 70. So what really is your bottom line? And the problem is we've now wasted days on the market or months on the market because their original bottom line wasn't the bottom line. Because when I say what's your rock bottom, meaning like if basically shit hits the fan, what's the lowest you can take? I could take 45,000, still be able, obviously it's not ideal, it's kind of a crunch, but we can make it work. That's the number I need to know, because then I can strategically help you guys out a lot better. And because the problem is we list too high.
Yeah.
People look at the house, don't make offers, we're chasing the market down. Next thing you know, the house is on the market too long, and you get these really bad offers, and it's just a bad situation.
Yeah.
So I mean, from an expectation level, sellers sometimes expecting what they're going to get is not good. Meaning,
Yeah.
like it's not in line where it should be. And I think sometimes you just pull stuff out of thin air. Well, the house down the road is asking X. Well, the house down the road asking X is still on the market, so it's not worth X.
Yeah.
So those kind of things too have to be factored in. But as you get going and spend more time in real estate, this stuff now becomes easier for you to navigate and easier for you to kind of explain to people and say, hey, listen, like let's be smart about this and actually accomplish your goals versus trying to just basically shoot for a star and not hit. You're not gonna hit it, kind of deal. Do you have any other realistic expectations that you think?
Well, I mean, it's something that we've kind of covered multiple times before, but just realistic expectations for a new agent being that.
Yeah,
It's
so
gonna be
explain that.
so.
Yeah, explain that, because now we're now over the halfway point of the year.
Yeah.
We're in kind of closing out summer. Sorry teachers, but it's coming. But we're closing out. So what is your perspective now that you've been basically doing this for a full 7 months?
That things are, I mean, it takes a while, and I've definitely started to see things pick up a little more. And things, people that I've been investing in are starting to like turn around a little bit for me. People that I've been talking to since January are kind of thinking about buying now. And I've also learned that someone saying, hey, I think I might be buying a home in the summer does not mean that they will be buying a home in the summer. And so that's something that you can think, well, I'm pretty sure I'm going to get like what my expectation, and I still want to try and say, but it's not going to happen, to sell 12 homes, would have been, I mean, I would have been way past that by now if everyone who told me that they were looking to buy or sell would have done so. So that's just, realistic expectations.
No, that's great. I think we've harped on that before, and it's kind of cool because trust me, we'll come back to that as you start going along. And now that we'll probably ask you after year one, and my first year I sold 3 homes, and to be honest, I remember one of them, maybe 2. I think I remember both of them, and to be honest, didn't know much. Don't really have any memory of the actual transaction. I remember a couple things. I remember the first house I went to, I didn't know what to do at a walkthrough. I didn't know what a walkthrough was. Like, legit, I didn't know we had to do a walkthrough. All of a sudden, my dad goes, yes, oh cool, you got close. Did you do the walkthrough yet? I said, what's the walkthrough?
Oh no.
Didn't know about that. So, yeah, so I when I talk about, I knew nothing. You guys are so far ahead of where I was, that the fact that, and that was... Yeah, that was bad. So the expectations, meaning that you're not going to make a killing in real estate from year one. I always tell people it's a 3-year commitment. If you want to come, I've told this to every single person that's ever approached me about selling real estate, is if you want to come to real estate, I'm totally fine with you doing that. Just know it's a 3-year commitment till I feel that you will be a position where you could go full time. Now you could blow me out of the water, and 2 years. You're not going to do it in year 1. Maybe by year 2 you're going to be able to pull it off. Maybe. I think 3 years is a very realistic goal. And to me, that's a goal that you're working towards. You're putting work in to get there. It's not just I'm just going to get my license and things are just going to happen. I'm going to go full time. No, you got to put your time and effort in. It's kind of like anything else. If you're not putting effort into anything you're doing, there's a reason that I'm in the position I am now versus 9 years ago when I had nothing, is that I'm to the point where I've built up to a position in my career that has taken a lot of time. It's taken a lot of long nights, a lot of early mornings, a lot of weekend, holiday appointments, basically getting hung up on calls, this, that, the other thing, good moments, terrible moments. I mean, all this stuff has built me up into a better agent. And that's what's going to happen with you. It's taken me 9 years. It's hopefully going to take you half of that, and I think it will. It's just a matter of, just kind of staying the course. And part of that leads me into my topic, which this past week, I would actually say not necessarily this week, last week, and I would say the last week and a half, I'll tie everything in, was the worst week and a half I've had in real estate, from a perspective of, we've had one deal that was a complete nightmare, and basically, long story short, without going too much into it, there was a lot of miscommunication. I think everybody involved could point fingers here, there, the other thing. What I want to talk about, though, and basically it ended up, I had both sides of the transaction. So the good thing was I wasn't dealing with another agent, which is just an extra piece another piece in the puzzle. But long story short, I did everything I thought I could do. I tried to pull every string and make every contact and connection, and basically ask every favor I could to try to make the situation better. But at the end of the day, obviously one client hates my guts. And again, I firmly believe, and I've told you this before, if you can go to bed at night knowing you did the right thing, you have nothing to worry about. And I 100% believe I did nothing wrong, and I can sleep at night, so I'm totally fine. If they don't like me, that's on them. I don't care. But the idea is that this was a week and a half of basically just getting fucking punched in. Sorry, well, I guess I don't care. It's on the explicit Game of Thrones Police show, but basically getting punched in the face over and over again for a week and a half, and Nicole can vouch for this, and it was just a mess. Well, finally, it closed yesterday. And I won't give all the details, because the details basically is one of those Murphy Law. Anything that could go wrong did go wrong. A lot of stuff out of my control. But what I want to kind of go back into, there was 3 things that I took away from the situation. And there's not a lot of times that I kind of step back and think to myself and almost take time to appreciate or really like give myself a pat on the back. 'Cause I don't do that often. I know people say to do that kind of stuff. I'm always like, get it done, go forward, move, grow, all this stuff, expand. But it kind of took me a chance to kind of look back, and even though the situation was awful, it was one that I was really proud of the way I handled the whole thing, in the sense that it could have been very easy for me to point fingers, point blame, deflect the blame off of me, not take accountability for the situation. I think I did the exact opposite. I think I was extremely accountable to everything. I think I was extremely proactive in everything. I stayed extremely positive in probably the most negative situation I've been in real estate, in the sense that there was going to be an end to it. And my thing was, and of course, a lot of conversations I had throughout the whole thing with a lot of different people, well, if this was different and this was different, and I was like, nope, not going there. I'm not going to blame. I'm not going to say he said, she said. I don't care what happened up to this point. We're at this point, okay? Basically, nothing in the past I can change. I can't go back, can't change it, none of us can. We're here. How do we still get to point? Like, we're trying to go from A to B. A to B should have been a straight line. A to B went up, down, zigzag, backwards, forwards, everywhere you could think. So then we got to this point. Now I'm like, well, how do we know behind us has been all jumbled. How do we get from now our new point A to our point B? And I was very good at just kind of finding that tunnel at the end of a very long road, and we finally found it. The negative was I wasted a ton of time that I shouldn't have had to put into it, which is why I'm literally a week and a half later, and I'm still catching up from a week and a half ago, which just, obviously is taking a lot of extra time out of my schedule, and I've, it's just taking a lot of time, which is the thing I value most. And but at the end of the day, it's just one of those things that I find that it's allowed me, again, just another negative that allows you to build you back up into a better agent. So I look at the whole situation as it was a negative situation, but I really found a way to turn it into a very positive light, and I thought I did an extremely good job. I'm very happy the way our office handled it, which is mostly me and Nicole kind of working on it. Nicole's really stepped up on it. She did a phenomenal job.
She's amazing.
Yeah, she is incredible. And I think we did a lot of good stuff, and at the end of the day, we accomplished our goal of getting someone in-house and getting a house sold. So, like I said, so sometimes my big takeaway from that is it's not always going to be pretty. There's going to be ups and downs. There's going to be challenges. You can talk about this in life or anything in general. This obviously happened to be in a real estate transaction, but at the end of the day, always look for the positive, always look for the solution, always take ownership of a situation. Don't pass blame on people or point the finger. So I think I was able to do all that, and now I'm just extremely happy it's over, obviously, but I think that it was a good growing experience. I got much better as an agent, and I think I kind of put things in play from a mindset perspective that I will take away as being very positive. So I think, anything else you want to add, or you want to end there?
That's good. Office quote.
Office quote.
Yep.
Do you have one, Ellie?
Ooh, you live by the quarry. I live by the quarry. We should hang out and throw things down there.
Oh God!
Creed is my favorite.
If we could go into a Creed one, the only one I think I know by Creed verbatim is the Halloween episode one, which is a very good one. Can I do two this week?
Yes.
Okay. So can I do two? I'm gonna do two, Lily. Sorry, I'm just. So the other Creed one is when they did the costume. And they're interviewing Creed, and Creed goes, "Oh, today's Halloween. That's very convenient." And as he's splattered with blood on his shirt, so as anybody knows, good old Creed Bratton, who actor is named Creed Bratton. My other office quote was the one I was going to do today was when Michael, obviously who hates Toby, goes, "Toby, what do you know? You're a virgin." And he goes, "Michael, I have a child." Poor Toby. I don't know why I love that line so much, but it's the stupidest line in the world, but that's it. So Toby and Creed were the two. Well, Michael, but that's good. That's pretty good. We really went down to like some sporting
I hate the
characters.
Taliban. Great heroin, no.
All right. We gotta end there because me and Ellie are gonna nerd out in the office for 20 more minutes. Okay. So for
Ellie.
and Galen, that is episode 29 of Realty Talk. See you next week.